by this tornado and receive damage. Just if you lived here, just think about that in your mind real quick. The tornado could be hitting the South Hopkins Middle School, the Dollar General at Morton's Gap, and the Hopkins County Central High School all at the same time. That's how big this is. In anywhere in between that has the opportunity of receiving catastrophic damage as a result of this tornado. And they went ahead and issued a PDS tornado warning all the way out to Central City. Central City, Kentucky, you are under a PDS tornado warning. If for some reason this tornado doesn't die out and it does actually make it all the way over to Central City, Kentucky, you guys have an unbelievable lead time here. Okay, you guys have gotten an hour to prepare. You've got an hour to figure out what you're going to do in Central City. I personally think, and I'm hoping that this will dissipate, hopefully, before it gets to Central City. I'm not confident enough to say that that's certainly going to happen, but I'm being optimistic here. But if I was in Central City, I would be doing everything I could to just prepare for the worst here, as a nasty tornado is coming in. Chandra, let's put Chris in one. Can we put Chris in one? Chris Hall is in Nortonville, Kentucky, awaiting the passage of this tornado near Morton's Gap. Once again, if you're just now tuning in, we have a tornado emergency for Morton's Gap, Kentucky, as a catastrophic tornado of literally epic proportions is ongoing here near Highway 112, southwest of Earlington, Kentucky. It's moving north and east. It'll impact Morton's Gap within the next 15 minutes to 20 minutes. Morton's Gap is a tiny town, but there's quite a few people that live there. It's the home of the Hopkins County Central High School. Once again, if you live down here, it's going to enter on the side of town where the Dollar General is, and it'll exit town near the Morton's Gap Christian Church, and of course the Pilot Travel Center. And I do want to reiterate, we've got a lot of people watching. We've got almost 200,000 people watching this right now. And a lot of you guys are local. You live in the area. It is not possible to be near this tornado safely. Okay, so we don't want any tornado tourists
do you have a copy?
Going after this thing. Yeah, Chris Hall has years of experience storm chasing. That's why he's out there to show this thing to you, so you don't have to do it. Go ahead, Chris.
Hey Ryan, I'm not gonna shortly put this out nicely. However, if you are in front of this storm, the things that I'm looking at behind the scenes, you have to try and survive this tornado. Morton's Gap, it's going to be very close to Earlington. There may be a debris ball as wide as 2 miles wide on this. I don't know how big the tornado is. It is completely rain wrapped. You're not going to be able to go outside and look for this. I'm currently on the side of the highway. I'm not going any more north right now. We can't see your finger in front of your face right now, let alone a tornado coming right at you. So you're going to have to try to survive this. If you are in the path, if you're south of Earlington or near Morton's Gap, this is coming beelining for you right now, and this is not a mess around situation. This is the real deal right now.
Absolutely. Chris Hall driving home several of the points that we've been trying to reiterate to people here. Yeah, this is the real deal. This is probably a tornado that will be remembered around this area for some time. And it's not these. These are not the ones that you want to start your storm chasing career with. You don't want to go looking for this. Okay, this is not that kind of tornado. This is not a game. So yeah, just keep that in mind, and let's just keep the people of Earlington and Morton's Gap in our thoughts here, because the tornado is about to go between those towns or through those towns. I'm hesitant to talk about small landmarks at this point because the tornado is big enough to just take up a lot of space. So everybody in Earlington and Mortons Gap needs to be underground, and within the next couple of minutes, we will likely see a direct impact here near the Hopkins County Central High School, West Kentucky
A new tornado
ATV
watch
Park,
has been issued.
Earlington Assembly, Copart, Earlington, the Pilot Travel Center in Mortons Gap. All of these places are in the path. Highway 41 there. And like Chris said, and like I've said many times during this broadcast, this is not a tornado that you can survive in the living room. You got to try. So honestly, at this point, all we can do is just hope that we've done a good job of getting the word out there and hope that people are heeding the warning, because there's nothing that's going to stop this from going through the area between Mortons Gap, Barnsley, and Earlington. The good news is, if you really zoom out here and look at this supercell, these storms that have kind of popped up and have like rammed into the inflow part of the storm have really made the supercell look less impressive. What's likely going to happen, though, is, once this merger is complete, we'll probably see that occlusion finish, and then a new area of circulation is going to try to pop up. So that could still happen, but then we have to, wait for this line to come in before the tornado's done. So I don't want anybody in Central City, Kentucky, to let their guard down. Central City, Graham, Earls, Midland, New Cypress, Powderly, South Carrollton, there's a lot of things on our side. Bremen, Kentucky, there's a lot of things on our side that is maybe alluding to the idea that this tornado is going to try to give up before it gets to you. But and just in case it doesn't, you guys have a big lead time. You have a lot of time right now to figure out what you're going to do to protect yourself from this thing. It could be 45 minutes before it gets to Central City if it makes it that far, okay? Use that time wisely and prepare your safe spot and get ready. Abandon mobile homes, get to more sturdy shelters. Right now, we have a large, potentially catastrophic
Ron, it's Chris.
tornado.
I believe once our tornado, we may have a new area of rotation to my due west near St. Charles. So we're watching that very closely. We are on the north side of Nortonville right now on the I-24 interchange here, the Penny Rowell Parkway.
All right, thank you, Chris. Right now, we have a large catastrophic tornado impacting Barnsley, Kentucky, and the areas in and around Earlington and Mortons Gap, as our big tornado is likely breathing its last breath during the occlusion process. But as Chris just stated, the new circulation may be trying to pop up right down here to the south and west of Nortonville near St. Charles. So it's nothing crazy yet. It's no huge cause for concern. Our main concern is still going to be for Earlington and Mortons Gap. But we do have to think about this supercell maybe sparking a new tornado here as that occlusion finishes itself. All right. So once again, we've got Elijah chiming in. Go ahead, Elijah.
Hey, Ryan. We have an exact specific report here now. 5 miles north of Princeton, there were 3 people injured, according to emergency managers. Trees were downed across multiple roads, making travel impossible. From listening to scanners, these were marked as walking wounded, which means that people were still walking. They did not have to be pulled out of rubble.
Okay. Thank you, Elijah. We're probably going to hear from Elijah a lot over the next couple of hours as we learn more about what just happened
Ryan, we have power flashes right in front of us due north right now.
Between Earlington, Charleston, and Crider, and Eddyville in Kentucky. Chris is reporting power flashes now, as we still do have a tornado on the ground here. It's quite evident exactly where it is. It's just past Barnsley now.
Ryan, we also have potentially a new lowering. It's directly in front of me right now over I-24 at the interchange of Penny Ryle Parkway.
Okay, I see what he's talking about here. Once again, we've got the original tornado right here, and we're also watching this area as well for a new area of rotation to kind of form on the southwestern side of that supercell. We're going to listen for Chris's updates on that, and we're going to keep you updated on that. But our main focus right now is still this area of rotation that's crossing Interstate 69 now in Mortons Gap. Once this gets over Interstate 69, which once again, this is going to cross over Interstate 69 near the Boss Truck Stop. And it continues to move off to the east or to the northeast. It's going to kind of parallel White City Road up there in the general direction of nothing. There's not a lot. Once this gets past Interstate 69, between Morton's Gap and Earls and Graham, there's not a lot of anything, thankfully. So there's going to be plenty of time for this thing to die out before it gets to Central City, which is what we're hoping for. But that new area of rotation is quite concerning. We definitely want to continue to look at this. Okay, a lot of people are asking about the word occlusion in the chat.
A new tornado
Basically,
warning has been issued.
when I'm talking about that is, any time we have a supercell that has a mesocyclone that is responsible for a tornado, there's one parent circulation that leads to the overall health and performance of the supercell. The mesocyclone, there's one big swirling area where all of the warm, moist air comes up into the storm. And sometimes there's several circulations around that in the inflow, and, you can have satellite tornadoes and stuff like that. But this right here is an example of the parent circulation associated with that supercell. But watch what happens here as I move this forward. Notice how it kind of wanders up to the north a little bit and then starts to dissipate. Whenever that happens, and especially whenever you see a little bit of a handoff to maybe a new area of circulation associated with like a new base or a new parent, circulation within a storm, the word occlusion literally just means like old circulation on the storm. So it's the old circulation that's kind of getting sucked up into the storm, the forward flank of the storm, and then that allows for a new area of circulation to kind of form in its place, as long as the supercell is allowed to continue. So occlusion, a lot of times.
Sorry, Ryan. Correction from earlier. I'm near the Western Kentucky Parkway at the intersection of Penny Ryle. We're looking now due east. We're right behind if this does try to form a new tornado.
Yeah, so the occlusion and a tornado is just like the weakening old circulation of a storm that no longer is the basis of the storm, and it just kind of becomes part of the storm as it kind of wraps up into itself, and then the storm creates a new base for itself. So it just means old circulation. This storm, I think that it doesn't have much left in it. Like there's obviously a chance that we see some more circulation down here between Nortonville and Greenville, but whenever this big line right here slaps into it, there might be a brief moment where that actually increases the circulation and maybe leads to another tornado. But I certainly don't think this is going to continue to produce tornadoes as far east as Caneyville and Morgantown, Kentucky. Central City would be as far east as I think this supercell is capable of producing a tornado. So hopefully everybody over there is in their safe spots. But I think the occlusion process is for the most part over. So that's good. We need to be in our safe spot in Fies and Earls, but the occlusion is for the most part over. And so one of the things that we're going to do from this point on is really focus a lot on news. We want anybody that's tuned in right now that is curious about anything that's just happened here with this prolific tornado. We're going to let you know. If you got family members out here, they're without power, you haven't heard from them, we're going to let you know what we know about in Eddyville. We're going to let you know about Crider. We're going to let you know about everything that we know about as it comes out. We're already talking to emergency managers. We're already listening to scanners. And Elijah has an update for us right now.
Hey, Ryan. So there is a damage photo that you can show on stream. It's in the media channel for you. Basically, this is from Dawson Springs, tornado damage. A home has been pretty much completely destroyed by the tornado in the photo. I also have some statistics real fast that we have. So obviously 3 injuries, that is currently what's known. That is most likely much higher, but that's the only true number known. There is also 140,000 people without power in Kentucky. There is 94,000 people without power in West Virginia. 94,000 people without power in Virginia. 83,000 people without power in Missouri. 71,000 people without power in Arkansas. And then tens of thousands of more without power across Ohio, Texas, Kansas, and Michigan from these storms. So I will let you know as we get more information.
Okay, thank you very much, Elijah. We have